So, the first of the three elements of confidence in human beings is what we call self-confidence. This is what you truly feel inside. Now, the great thing about self-confidence is it can make or break you, your own inner self-confidence, without a shadow of a doubt. But it's the one thing you can't lie about. I'm going to talk about 2 and 3 in a minute, which you cannot almost fabricate and embellish. But inner self-confidence, what you truly feel inside, is a feeling or an emotion. It's not rational or logical. It's not a fact. It's a feeling or an emotion that you cannot hide from, that you can't lie about. It's how you truly feel inside about yourself, about your abilities, about your worth, whatever it might be. So this is a really important part of the confidence conundrum, and as we'll come to, I think most people that I coach, we talk a lot about self-confidence and what they're truly feeling inside in a safe environment, and that's not always what they're projecting to the world, which brings me to my second part. The second element of the confidence conundrum is what we call surface confidence. So this is what we project to the world, what others see, hear and observe in us, right, or of us. And what's staggering, and you'll probably resonate with this, but what's staggering is that our 1 and 2 is not always aligned. In fact, very rarely are they aligned. What we project and portray to others and to the world is not always what we truly feel inside. And when there is a disconnect between 1 and 2, that leads to one of two sort of personality types or modes of operations, which I'm going to come to in a second. But one is your inner self-confidence, how you truly feel, but 2 is what you portray. And that's not always the same, or it's not always aligned, which we'll come back to. Number 3, so the third and final part of the confidence conundrum that actually absolutely plays a vital role in our level of confidence is peer confidence. So it's what others think about me. Now you might think there's people out there, and I've heard it time and time again, in fact I think I've said this, you might hear people say, I don't give a shit what people think about me. I don't care what others think. I'm my own person, I've got my own mind. Now, some people generally are more like that than others, and there's truth to it, but in every human being, in every Homo sapien, in every person I've ever coached or ever worked with, we all are affected by peer confidence to some degree. It's just a fact, we just are. So what others think about us absolutely plays a vital role, because it either validates our level of self-confidence or it can hinder it and actually harm it if we get negative or constructive feedback or opinions from others. But either way, this is a conundrum, it's a concoction. A person's level of confidence that I find is fundamentally driven by, number 1, their self-confidence, what they truly feel inside, 2, their surface confidence, what they're projecting to the world, and 3, what other people think about them, comment on them, give them feedback, say about them, etc. So this is quite, you can imagine this is quite complex, it's quite intricate for different people. But let's dissect it, and this is what I find. I'm going to try and simplify it as well. Forget about 3 for now, forget about peer confidence and what others think about you, because that is the one thing in this conundrum that you can't control. It's the one thing that actually it will send you crazy if you crave it or validate it or think about it or overanalyze it too much. So what we've got to do is we've got to put 3 to one side for a second. Let's come back to 1 and 2. I see 2 variations happening that really affects people's confidence. Let me give you the first one. I coach and work with people who have very low self-confidence. So what they truly feel about themselves and their self-worth and their own purpose is very low. They don't believe in themselves. They doubt, in fact, it goes as far as saying they doubt everything. They question everything about themselves, whether they're worthy or not in relationships, whether they're doing a good job at work. You know, they really question and don't believe generally on a day-to-day basis that they're good enough. However, what we see sometimes in these people that they are projecting to the world like they're fine. They're overcompensating that too by saying, I'm going to get up, I'm going to smile, I'm going to face the world, I'm okay, I'm coping. Sometimes they're very social, sometimes they thrive in terms of engaging with people and being around people. So to the world, they look like they're a confident person, but this is absolutely not aligned and it's very low. When you have a person like this who is constantly projecting out to the world something that doesn't actually align with what they truly feel, they develop a thing called imposter syndrome. This is where the term imposter syndrome comes from. Their biggest, greatest fear is that the fear of being found out. You know, one day someone's going to find out and it's all going to come crashing down. Or what if people truly see how I'm feeling on the inside and they can see through me? People with high surface confidence and low self-confidence suffer from that imposter syndrome, which is a really, really hard cycle to get out of, because it's a daily basis that you're trying, you're offering all your energy in trying to get through every day, in trying to, pave your career, pave the way through the career, trying to get out there and be social, trying to build relationships, trying to do stuff on a daily basis, which is tiring, but they constantly doubt themselves, which means they think for long periods of time about everything they've done in that day, everybody they interacted with, what they said, what that meant, what that response might have meant, what do they think? And absolutely it starts to become a self-perpetuating cycle and very draining. So that's the first combination. People with low self-confidence but high surface confidence usually suffer on an ongoing basis with their overall confidence as a result of imposter syndrome. Let's flip that the other way around now. What about people who have low degrees of surface confidence, so they struggle to project themselves to the world? Some people who are introverted would resonate with this. So they don't put themselves out so much socially, they don't blow their own trumpet, they don't champion their achievements, they don't sponsor themselves, they don't stakeholder manage in the business. However, they have very high levels of inner self-confidence. They believe that they are good at what they do, they're intelligent, they're skilled, and actually the world will see me for what I am one day. And what happens with these people? They don't suffer imposter syndrome because they have a higher level of self-confidence than they are projecting to the world. However, what happens is opportunities seem to bypass these people, seem to pass them by. They don't get the accolades sometimes they believe they deserve. They don't build relationships or stakeholder manage very well. And as a result of that, they tend to build up resentment. So they build up judgment and resentment of others who portray high surface confidence and are having opportunities and are stakeholder managing. And they start to build up this resentment for people like, I should have got that job, I'm better than you, or how come you get all the attention and I don't, just because I don't shout from the rooftops. So these people tend to get held back because they're not doing a great job at too. Now, in either scenario of the imposter syndrome with low self-confidence, high surface confidence, or low surface confidence, high self-confidence, in either scenario, it holds them back or hinders them. And the fundamental thing I want you to take away from this video, or the fundamental thing you need to think about, is in the most productive people I meet, or the most truly confident people who are content with who they are and have the ability to balance what they project to the world with how they truly feel, is when both 1 and 2 are absolutely aligned. They're absolutely aligned. Whether it's good, bad, the ugly, whatever it might be, they are aligned. What I project is what I feel. And whether that's somebody who's supremely confident, so they're projecting confidence and they feel it, or whether that's somebody who has vulnerabilities, but they're not afraid to project those vulnerabilities, once 1 and 2 are aligned, they are far less impacted by 3. And that is the confidence conundrum. That's the key to unlocking it.